Initiative is a youth-led sustainability and circular economy consultancy based in Nairobi, Kenya. It started in the year 2018 when a woman from Nyando cried out to the government to come and help them mitigate the negative effects of climate change in Nyando. So far, the big achievements we've had is the digital advocacy training we've had with Emerging Leaders Foundation, Young African Leaders Initiative first cohort of sustainability and circular economy, and being nominated as one of the youths in top 35 under 35 Youth of the Year, Environment, Conservation and Advocacy. Our goal as Moonlight Initiative is to lead in river and forestry conservation on matters bamboo in Kenya, and also to create youth employment through bamboo value addition and contract farming. Some of the uses of bamboo include bamboo fabric, bamboo furniture, bamboo utensils, bamboo interior decor, among many others. We call upon the general public, youth, and people with disabilities to come and help us conserve the environment through bamboo.
More than 30 years ago, with my family, we have found this company that is focused on distance collaboration market, and we consider ourselves a green company. In fact, our motto is keep ideas moving, not people. We have created a nice software that has the capability to understand, to analyze the CO2 savings while using our products and services instead of using the usual means of transportation such as airplane, cars and trains. And the numbers that came out from this tool are really impressive. Today, I'm also following two different startups in the fashion industry. We all know that the fashion market is one of the most polluting in the world, and sometimes the production chain is not ethical at all. The first one is called VIC and is the acronym for Very Important Choice, and we are focused on circular economy and the spreading of the knowledge of circularity in everyday life. The other one is Gaia, my friend, and is a web-based platform, fashion tech, and I'm focused here in developing the sustainability stylists that are trying to develop their strategies based on sustainability. Last but not least, I've always been interested in the animal world, both for the defense of their rights and also for having the intensive breeding stopped, because we all know that the intensive breeding is one of the most polluting companies and industry in the world. I'm also following Naomi Wolf, who is a very well-known activist, who is loudly saying that the time is now and we have to do all our best to preserve our planet today and for the future, changing a lot of our daily habits. Thanks.
So what was your definition of sustainability? Just for fun, I put a Facebook post out and asked my friends and community what they thought sustainability was, and interestingly enough, I got a whole lot of different answers. As a matter of fact, one of my friends said, good luck getting people to agree on that. So when we look at the word etymologically sustained, it means to give support, hold, and keep up. So foundationally, I would agree that's a really good start to where we need to go. But sustainability could easily be one of the most overused words of the decade, and in some ways making it become redundant. So with that, I did some research and I found basically we need to follow the triple bottom line. And that means when we're looking at sustainability, does it have social impact? Is it environmentally, is it making an impact? And economically, is it making an impact? And I think when we take those three variables, those are really great places to start to create a definition globally that we're all on the same page. So when I think about sustainability, there's many things I'm concerned about, but one of the major things I'm concerned about, as you probably guessed, would be water. Water is a precious commodity here on our planet. Our bodies are made of 60% water, our heart and brain are made of 73%, and our lungs are made of 83%. When I think about the fashion industry, water is not something that really comes to my mind. The fashion industry itself is not something that has a great amount of concern as far as pollution and waste. But did you know that the fashion industry is the second largest pollutant and waste on our planet? It falls right under the number one pollutant, and that's the oil industry. 10% of humanity's carbon emissions comes from the fashion industry. 85% of all textiles end up in landfills. And lastly, the fashion industry is the second largest consumer of water. And as all of that water is used, there's a tremendous amount of waste product that goes into our oceans. So for example, when a material such as polyester is being made, it's made with microplastics, and the waste product of that is dumped in the ocean. Microplastics is equivalent to 50 billion, that's with a B, billion, plastic water bottles being dumped into the ocean. So when we look at that, we all like our clothes and we all love fashion, and it's a very important thing. But when I look at my shirt, it's a cotton shirt. It took 700 gallons of water to make my shirt, which would be equivalent to me drinking 8 glasses of water for 3.5 years. Or the jeans I'm wearing. It took 2,000 gallons of water to make that, which in essence would be equivalent to me drinking 8 glasses of water a day for 10 years. So when we look at that, we know that's just not going to be sustainable in the long haul. If we keep up the trajectory of that, it is estimated by the year 2050, we will have raised the carbon emissions on our planet by 26%. When we look at the fashion industry, the desire and need for fashion has actually gone up from 2000 to 2014, 60%. So we are demanding more and more, 60%. And so with that said, I'm hoping that we can have the conversations on looking at the fashion industry. How can we make it more sustainable? What are questions that we can do? What are things in our own life we can do when it comes to the fashions we're wearing? So we would invite you to have some thoughts, conversations, and make some formidable change with the clothes that you wear. The fashion industry. It's a $2.5 trillion industry. It's the second largest consumer of water on our planet. As our insatiable desire grows for low-cost global clothing brands and trendy fashions, soaring demands have gone up at least 60%, some estimate 65%. But the quality of these clothing, unfortunately, have gone down. The majority of these clothings are made from polyesters and synthetics that are derived from oil and petroleum products. The byproduct of that is after they are done, they dump the water into the oceans, which they're dumping tons of microplastics into the ocean. Unlike cotton, these are not biodegradable. As we look at landfills like this across the world, 85% of all textiles will end up in a landfill. So where do we go from here? As an educator, it is my passion to bring about awareness and education based on environmental factors. April 22nd is Earth Day, and it is an amazing celebration of environmental protection around the planet. We just celebrated the 50-year anniversary, and with that, being proactive, about 10 years ago, I started something called the Recycled Art and Fashion Show. It's been an amazing tool to bring about awareness, conversations, and education about sustainability, particularly through the fashion industry. I tell you this because I encourage you to do fun and exciting things that reaches youthful educational ventures, but it really educates and gets people excited about environmentalism and what they too can do to make formidable change. One of the biggest platforms for the Recycled Fashion Show that we do is that it encourages the re-wear of creating fashions. And here in just a little bit, I'll show you some pictures of what I'm talking about. But as we re-wear, we might think about with our friendships and our own circles of sharing clothing, meaning if you go to an event, instead of purchasing, a lot of times we purchase something we wear at one time, let's just pass that on and share it with a friend. High-end fashion has actually caught on to this trend, and they now are creating rentable high-end fashions because, once you go to an event, a lot of times you don't want to wear the outfit more than once. It's a fantastic alternative solution to some of the waste that we're seeing in the fashion industry. Reuse. There's so many things that we can reuse, and through the Recycled Art project that we work on, it's taking things that many may just think of as trash, reusing it and turning it into something beautiful and or useful. Recycling. Of course, recycling is a really big factor that needs to be looked at. What can we do to recycle not just the clothing we wear, but the plastics we use in the household items that we discard of. And then lastly, reduce. As we've talked in the last couple of minutes about the fashion industry and the enormous use of water, the enormous waste product that goes through that, instead of having 50 t-shirts, possibly the conversation could happen to reduce and really think about that next purchase. Do you really need 50 t-shirts? Now, there's no judgment because I'm just as guilty. These are conversations that I need to have with myself, my students, and my community constantly. But with that, I encourage you this next year, 2021, let's really push for a zero waste week. Let's look for alternative fashions that do have sustainability in their brand and in their manufacturing. And let's really encourage each other because we are all stewards of this planet and we are all passing on this planet to our future generations. So thank you for joining me in the conversation, and I so hope you enjoy the slides from some of the pictures from the last 10 years of the Recycled Fashion Show. We hope you will certainly join our initiative as to coming up with a global definition as to what sustainability is. Once we're all on the same page, I know that we will be able to make formative change. Nextly, I encourage you to always look at industry and see the true factor as to the waste products and what is really truly happening when we look at industry of the things that we purchase and that we use for a home and the clothing that we wear. Lastly, let's look for alternatives. There's a lot of fun, innovative, and very exciting things we can do to make really great change on our planet because let's face it, we're all in this together.